the record button, and we're going to jump into it. For those of you that have not met me before, my name is Nicole Carter. I am half-time digital curriculum and half-time secondary language arts. And Newsela is one of the things that is under, I guess, my tools, my digital tools that I'm supposed to be providing help on. Especially as a language arts support person, I'm definitely looking into Commonlit. We don't currently pay for it. It is free. But there's a section of it, if we pay for it, that can have the integration with Canvas, which will make things nice and smooth. It is already turned on through Clever. So if you've not gone into Commonlit before, if you go into Commonlit and you sync it through Clever, your roster should show up. That's what I'm hearing from teachers that have used it before. So really the only thing we'd be paying for would be the integration with Canvas. But you should be able to have quite a bit of access in Commonlit, even though it's a free service. So to confirm your attendance to Kick Up today, what you're going to want to do is go to our staff bookmarks first and then open up Kick Up. You're going to look towards the center of the home screen and click on the green confirm attendance button. And then if you type in CMCYFH, it should confirm that you're here with us today. And if you have any more questions on that, let me know. I'll come back to this, I think, at the end, just to double check if there's anyone that joins us as we go. So my plan is to talk about Newsela first. I'll definitely live demo some things. There is a section that they talk about student data that I personally don't have students at the district level. It's rostered through Synergy, right? So I don't necessarily have data that you guys might. So I might show a video for that portion just so that you can see all the cool stuff that you actually have access to. And I'll also show you other places you can go to get more support on getting the most out of Newsela that you possibly can. Newsela is linked through Canvas. So I would really argue that you should, instead of going to like newsela.com, you're going to go in through Canvas and everything should be synced through there. And I'll show you what that means coming up. So we'll start with exploring just what you have access to and the functionality of the articles, and then we'll jump into the video for binder student data. Again, just shoot me a comment in the chat if you have any questions. Is this middle school? Thank you, Rebecca. Yes, it's definitely, yes, it's middle school and high school for sure. Upper elementary, otherwise, if we've got any elementary people joining us. So yeah, middle school is perfect for both Commonlit and Newsela. And I know that we've got quite a few middle schools that are using it. Commonlit came on my radar from Whitford. So I know that they're definitely using it over there. I see another comment coming up. Oh, you're in elementary, Rebecca? Yeah, so I mean, upper elementary, 4th and 5th grade, you can definitely, I mean, the Lexile levels can be changed, so you might be able to access stuff even for like 3rd grade, but I think it'd be more of a challenge for anything below that. And I just did some tech support lessons for elementary on research with littles. So I did a whole lesson set for kinder, 1st grade, 2nd, and within 2nd and 3rd grade, actually, I think I did a whole unit on how to use library resources for safe searches for our littles. And I would probably use those resources instead of Newsela for below 3rd grade. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so if I'm in, it doesn't really matter what class I'm in. So I'm just kind of opening up. Again, doesn't really matter. So I'm in Canvas and I'm honestly just going to open up. Did I remove Newsela from here? Of course I did. So I guess if you change your settings and remove Newsela, that doesn't help. I apologize. I think I have access in this guy. Am I just not seeing it? Oh, it's right here up at the top. Sorry. Okay, so you can obviously access newsela.com, and you're going to use just your Google sign-in, your single sign-on, your Beaverton. Okay. So the added benefit of just accessing it through Canvas is you're already in Canvas probably. For most of the time, you probably have that tab open. It does kind of limit your window a little bit, obviously, because you still have all of the Canvas navigation on your left-hand side. But for the most part, this is the exact same screen that you're going to see and just on newsela.com. So first of all, you have access when you hit like browse, you can browse through different subject areas. And one of the things that I think is kind of interesting is when you go into news, you're getting more current events, whereas some of the subject areas, especially through social studies and the data that we're seeing when we pull data district level, most of the people that are using Newsela are social sciences and science classes. And our language arts teachers are mostly using like Commonlit. And that's just simply because Newsela is more nonfiction, right? So social studies actually has a ton of primary resources. Oh, sorry, sign in. Has a ton of primary resources and biographies, and so not current events, just more of stuff to help you build content if you needed more content instead of like discovery ed or something. And the other piece too is that they have the ability for text sets. So like what I'm looking at right now, as I clicked on social studies, they have a Native American heritage text set. And that just simply means that they've grouped some articles by a theme and put them together for you. You can create your own text sets as well. So if you were in an elementary classroom, 4th or 5th grade, and you wanted to go through and find age appropriate articles on a specific theme or research topic, you can curate that for your students and then assign it to them. Very simple to create text sets. And I know I've created my own. So under your content, if you go to created by you, you can see if you've inadvertently created text sets on your own. But once I go into your own content, you see you have a blue button over here in the left-hand corner that says create a text set. And once you do that, then you can go in and start searching by keyword, article name. For one, I think like the 6th grade, it might have been like one of the 6th grade writing units. I was using text sets and I created a text set and then tried to find corresponding articles in Spanish so that the dual language classrooms had access to Spanish articles. So not every single article on Newsela is in Spanish. I mean, there's a limited, like it's not one for one, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So keep that in mind. You obviously have like a search function to go through the what is available, and there's lots of different filters based on standards, which is kind of interesting, as well as just full on, typing in a keyword. If I were to click on an article to go into and show you some of the features of the article, you have the ability to assign right here from the articles. Let's say this is an article I want to send to some kids. I can create this as an assignment. And then if I have classes, see, this is where it gets hard for me as a district level person. I don't have classes associated with my roster because I don't have any in Synergy, but I would have access to my classes here. There'd have like a little drop down menu. And then you can, in fact, lock in the Lexile level if you feel like that you need to. I think part of the benefit, though, is having students be able to like self-assign if they know where they sit comfortably, that they can then change it themselves. And then what I also find really interesting is the student instruction. So every single article comes with a written response, usually a 4-question quiz. And then there's features within that students can use different colors to highlight. So within your student instructions, something that I would recommend, and hopefully I saw that my screen kind of paused a little bit. If I'm having technical issues, then I might turn my video off so that I don't pause like that. Just let me know. But in the student instructions, I would be pretty explicit and say something like, use the blue highlighter tool and highlight 3 facts in the article or something, right? Like, depending on what kind of close reading strategy students are currently working on, I would be explicit here in the student instructions. And then maybe I'd say highlight 3 facts and then answer the written response. The written response you can change. Most of them have a pre-made written response, but if you don't like it, you can go in and change. So I think the student instructions are actually pretty important. I'm going to cancel out of there. You're going to go back to the article for me. There we go. Okay. So another kind of thing to keep in mind. Why is this giving me a weird? Okay, so it's showing me my learning objectives. It's showing you the different student instructions, etc. I also have the ability to, in the article, I can save it or heart it, and I can add it to a text set. I just really wanted to make sure that I showed it to you. So if you were just kind of clicking on things kind of randomly, or you were trying to create a text set and you were doing searches for something, going into the article, previewing the article, and then clicking on it and adding to a text set can happen right here in each article. And then you additionally can click this right-hand tab to see the additional like activities. So again, here's the writing prompt, and you have the ability to go in and edit the writing prompt if it's not exactly to your liking. If you were to preview this or show this, present this to students, usually when you show the quiz feature, it tells you the correct answer. So I would advise not actually showing the quiz part or previewing the quiz part for your students. The other piece I wanted to talk about a little bit is your binder and your ability to see kind of some of the data. I don't, again, have students assigned, so this isn't as cool as it could be, but if you've at all started to assign students any articles and they've gone through and started answering any of the activities, you're going to be able to start to see breakdowns by assignment, as well as breakdowns by the standards, how kids are answering and doing based on their reading. So I would really advise you, if you've already assigned a couple of articles, or if you go back to your classroom this week and assign a couple articles over the next few weeks, come back to the binder and take a look at this data feed to see just how things are going for you. I think sometimes the data is really helpful. And I do have in here, I do have as resources, if you want to save, I will put it in the chat, but I have a whole bunch of videos that walk through each of the things that I'm kind of talking about, but specifically this student data set one I think is really helpful, especially since I don't have data in a live demo to show you. But I think that's pretty much it here on Newsela. For students to access Newsela, they would just go into your Canvas course and hit Newsela just like I did, and then their assignments would pop up. So that would be your direct instruction to them. And yes, I will share the recording of this training. I'll probably put it back on ClickUp. I'll put it actually in the slide deck. You guys can't see it. Maybe you can see it right now. I don't know. But I will put it at the beginning of this slide deck as well for you. And let me grab the slides too. I think the slides are on the ClickUp, and they also are on like the course catalog, but I'll put it in the chat too. Yeah, so all of those videos are here in the slide deck for you to come back and rewatch, and they're nice and short too. I didn't make them, someone else did, but they're nice and short, like 2 minutes each. So if you just need a refresher on everything that an individual article provides or how to create text sets, those are all in here. Additionally, I wanted to go into the Educator Center on Newsela, because they also have different videos to help you through. using the product and, how to use the student data. And then sometimes they have additional like projects, or like the Native American text set that we were looking at before. Like sometimes they'll have additional information. So just going into this section, the educational center, can also provide more resources. Just depends on how much you want to use Newsela. I think it's a really great resource, and we've been paying for it for a really long time. So it'd be good to know that people are accessing it and getting the most out of it. And especially with its kind of easy integration with Canvas, I think it makes it a nice resource, especially for social studies, social sciences, and science. Okay, so I'm going to move over to Commonlit. As I said before, it is the literature side of Newsela. I mean, they're not related products. They're not created by the same company in any capacity, but I guess the way that I'm framing it in my head, Newsela is nonfiction, Commonlit is literature, and they do a lot of the same thing. So they group things by theme. They allow you to assign different like quizzes and vocabulary words, stuff like that. Right now, there isn't necessarily the integration with Canvas, as I said in the beginning, but I'm definitely looking into it as something that might be included as a part of maybe the adoption as we're moving forward. I don't know. I'm going to bring it to everybody to review, and we'll take a look. But let's see if I'm still logged in. Okay. So Commonlit is just commonlit.org, one word, Commonlit. Again, it's free to use. When you're logging in, you're going to log in with your Google account. They have one free reading assessment that you can give to your students or assign to all of your classes. That kind of gives you some feedback on where they currently are rating or reading, as far as if you don't have any of that current feedback. And I know that some teachers at the middle school level specifically have been giving it out to their students. So you do have the ability to take a look at filters through theme. So like these are all, I guess I must have been looking at this before, but these are all, I typed in the word theme, and these are all like text sets on the idea of theme, or different variations on the idea of theme. You can search by grade level. Again, this is going to be more of your literature based options. The other thing that I think is kind of interesting, you can assign assignments just like in Newsela. I think they're very similar in product design. But what I also thought was kind of interesting is that they actually have this 360 curriculum. Again, I'm not necessarily advising that we like use them, but if you're at all interested, to go ahead and take a look. Like for example, 6th grade, I know is supposed to do deep character study. It's a units of study unit, and they actually have, characters who change and grow. This could be supplemental text that you could use when you're doing that unit. And it's all free, which is just crazy to me. So I think that this is a really good, it's taking a while. I keep clicking and it's like, hold your horses. There we go. Okay. So you've got baseline assessments, you've got an introduction, you've got vocabulary activity. I mean, so much here. And this is all just one unit. So I don't know. I'm curious what people think of some of this 360, because again, we're in the middle of this adoption. Is this something for us to take a closer look at? I don't know. I'm paying attention to it, right? But I need more teachers to kind of test it out and take a look. Let's just say I'm going to look at grade level 8th grade options. Just all sorts of articles. Let's just go into an article. Okay, so this looks, I mean, there's a warm-up writing, there's a video. So you've got take 3 minutes to write down your ideas. I'm trying to make sure that nothing's getting in your guys' way, but I am kind of blocking some stuff. Okay. So how does social media impact the way teenagers feel? And there's like a quick write. I feel like my screen is kind of small. So another quick question after kids watch the video. So this is a pretty in-depth lesson. Today we're identifying best evidence to support. I don't know about you, but this looks pretty great. Okay, so begin reading when you encounter the exclamation icon, click it to answer the question. Let's just see. Okay, so it's blocking out, I don't know if you can see on my screen, but it's giving me a couple of paragraphs. You have to answer the question before the rest of the article becomes seen. So as far as what we know in terms of research, I know for like interactive videos, that's some of the highest retention for content that we can do with students. And this is very similar in reading and then answering a question, going back, reading some more, answering a question. Helpful with retention. I know one of the things that I was concerned about when I started seeing some of these articles is that, you know, the article, they're not necessarily all like super current events. So that is something for us to pay attention to, right? Like how current is all of the articles available. So I'm trying to think. Let me go back and double check what I have on here that I want to make sure I show you. I think. So you do have access to read aloud. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Katie, I think so too. I think that this has a lot of potential. And I know that some teachers have really, really liked using it. So I'm very interested to see how this might fit with the new adoption. Because I literally have no idea, you know. I'm not going into it with any kind of preconceived notions of what we might use or end up agreeing on, but I feel like this has potential to be something usable. What is this customizable? Now I'm just like clicking on buttons, and hopefully you guys are okay with me just doing that. So they've got like Google Slides. Wow. You guys, this is pretty cool. Am I wrong in this? How is this a free service? Is anyone else asking that question? I do not understand. This is pretty neat. Okay. I'm sorry. I just got very sidetracked. So where did I click? Oh, I clicked up here. Customizable slides on the student assignment. Oh, I didn't answer all of the questions. So that's interesting. It's giving them feedback as they go. Yes, submit assignment. I just am trying to see stuff. Let's get out of here. Okay, let's go back to the main. Nope. Browse content. Browse the library. Okay. So if I'm back on the main home screen, so you'd obviously have text, short text. You have the themes. You have the 360, the whole units, the 360 curriculum, whole units. And then you also have this book pairing category. So you could type by specific book. So I used to teach Fahrenheit 451 all the time. So let's take a look and see if I'm reading Fahrenheit in the classroom. Here are some poems. Here's a letter, like all sorts of book pairings that I could do in class to go along with it. So really, really great options in here. I'm intrigued to hear more, I think, from teachers. I'm going back to the main library if I can. And I'm just wanting to see what else we have. So it looks like they have some content, some Spanish content. So that could be cool to take a look at as well. So it looks like they put together text sets similarly to Newsela as well. And there are some informational texts, but again, I think we have a bigger library at Newsela. So in my head, I'm just, again, categorizing Commonlit as more literature based. short stories. Looks like there's some elementary stuff too. So that's great. Oh, this is interesting. High interest high school text. So data showing that we're going to have at least 5 years of students coming up into secondary that are low level readers. So high interest, low level are going to be incredibly important, I think, as we continue moving forward. Okay. So, I also wanted to show, so again, I have some videos available as well. This was something that academic coach over at Whitford shared with me. So once you have students creating, or once you've clever synced your classes and you have your students in and you give them assignments, it will start to show you some data on where kids have like landed. It's going to color code it for you. It's based off of the standards that are assigned to each. And then you have the ability to give kids multiple opportunities for specific targets or their Common Core standards. And again, it's showing you where, you know, color coding and how many attempts they've taken. So the data can be super, super helpful. Again, it's showing you, if you can see right here, it'll show you based on the Common Core standard, how they're doing. And you can kind of see Mary set off to the side, like how she used the data. It was used as more like whole group, she's saying. And the written short answer one, you have to score. It's not automatic, right? Which, yeah, that makes sense. So I think that's kind of helpful to just see what that looks like. So there's a quick start guide in the slide deck to help you if you are like, hey, this looks really cool, I want to give it a try. And there's also, so the quick start article for teachers also includes a little video. And then, or I found this little video, and then there's a quick start article for students that does not have a video. I noticed that when I opened the article up to take a look at it. But it's nice that they give you a student option or a student audience option. I don't think you need to know this because, like I said, I think it's clever synced, and I don't think that you need to actually give them a code and have them register. So forget that. Okay, so any other additional questions? As a 4th grade ELD teacher, I think so. So 4th grade is interesting because not all 4th grade teachers are using Canvas. And sorry, I know you sent that in a direct message, but I'm just going to answer your question now. If your 4th grade class is not necessarily using Canvas, then what I would do is just go to newsela.com and find an article, and you can share it with them through Seesaw. So this is where it's helpful if they're actually still using Canvas. Because I'm wondering if you don't go through Canvas and you just give them a link in Seesaw, then if they went through and did any of the like written responses or answered the questions, if that then saves for you to be able to see the data later. You have a Canvas course created for you already. The other question would be, do you have your students rostered to you? Because the rostering comes through Synergy into Canvas. So there's kind of maybe some more questions we'd have to get to figure out the best way to have your students access the Newsela stuff. And it could very well be that we maybe set you up with Canvas to make it easy for you. I guess that's kind of my not completely direct answer. Okay, so we're coming towards the end of my time. If you want to send me a quick email about the 4th grade access and we want to see if we can figure that out for you, we can. Otherwise, is there any other questions for today? Okay, I'm going to go back to confirming our attendance on KickUp. Here's our little code for attendance. Again, to get to KickUp, I would use our staff bookmarks and go into KickUp and then type in CMCYFH. 。 . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . And then if you have any other questions, feel free to call me or email me, probably is better. My time is your time, and I would love to be able to talk with you more about any of this stuff. And I think I'm going to stop recording now.